So in this part, we're gonna look at part 1, Python fundamentals. I'm gonna open with a new tab here. So again, programming with Python fundamentals. So the estimate is gonna be 30 minutes for this, but hopefully we can do it quicker. So the questions is before starting this part, we have some questions to answer, which are: what basic data types can I work with in Python? And how can I create a new variable in Python? Can I change the value associated with the variable after I created it? The objectives of this part is assign values to variables. So we're gonna look at an overview of the lesson. The first part is gonna be about variables. The second part is gonna be about types of data. The next part is using variables in Python. We got check your understanding. We got solution as well, and finally we got key points. So I think it's a good practice. Before you start the lesson, you have a overview of the lesson to see what's inside the lesson. Especially it's like looking at it's like when you read a book, you look at the table of contents before you dive into the content of the book. So normally in this chapter or in this lesson or in each section, they're gonna have a summary or a key points. So normally this is gonna related at the end of the lesson, but I prefer the way that we're gonna look at that before we start the lesson, and then we come back to the key points after we finish the lesson. So I think it will enhance our understanding about the lesson. So here the key points are: basic data types in Python include integers, strings, and float point numbers. We can use variable equal to value to assign a value to variable in order to record it in memory. We can so variables are created on demand. Whenever a value is assigned to them, we can use print something to display the value of something. So this is the key points for this lesson. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy it, or maybe I'm gonna capture it, and I'm gonna open with I'm gonna make sure that you got that. So I'm gonna copy to clipboard, and I'm gonna open WordPad. I think you got WordPad. Every people got WordPad. I'm gonna paste in there so you can see that. So I'm gonna resize this. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna change the page setup of that to make it like no margins, so I can increase this. This is just for the purpose of having something to refer to. So you can use this, or probably you can even so that one way. The other way that you can do is probably you can capture it again, and I'm gonna save it. I'm just gonna save it in like here. I call capture, and it's also very useful for you to review the lesson as well later. And I'm gonna put in here is which is 01 key points. So in there, so I got a PNG file. I'm gonna open that one using maybe just using whatever it is, photo. And with photo I can resize the window size. I think so, definitely yes, not very convenient. Snip and sketch, I have no idea what I'm doing now. Okay, yeah, so maybe another way. So you can use WordPad, but maybe WordPad is not convenient. You can use that. Snip and sketch is available in window. Why is that? Because you can choose that and you can like do that when you finish that. I'm not sure this is useful or not, but you have something to refer back to there. So we're gonna get back to the content of the lesson, the part 1, which is variables. So we got back in here and we got the code here, and I think inside here we got something it called equivalent to this lesson, but I can't see it, so that not the one I'm looking for. Not gonna save it. I have not gonna save it. Gonna save it. Yeah, not gonna save it. No, sorry for that part of the organization. I should cut that part of the video. So get back to there. I'm gonna open this. That's not what we want. Check, that's not what we want. So I think for now we don't use the code inside here. So we get back to our Jupyter window. So I'm gonna bring the Jupyter window on the side here. So I'm gonna organize it to be neat down there. So I got the key points up there. It's always there for me to refer back when I need it. And I got the instruction on the left there, and I got the coding window on the right here. So if I use this, and if you prefer, you can also use Spider, which is another Python editor in here in Anaconda. And I'm gonna start that Spider. It will take probably 1 minute. Okay, it's starting here actually on the other window of my computer. I'm gonna bring it aside. So I'm gonna just close this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to view and go to window layout, and I'm gonna choose vertical split. It's gonna split the window vertically, and I'm gonna resize it like that. So I'm gonna make it assign like that. So if you prefer Jupyter Spider, you can have it there as well. But for now, I think I'm gonna run this with I'm not sure which one I should run. I'm gonna run it with a new Jupyter notebook. So inside code here, I'm gonna create a new Jupyter notebook, and I choose Python 3, and then I'm gonna name it as because here we are in the Python fundamentals, so I'm gonna put it there, Python fundamentals. I'm gonna choose it 01 and to rename. Then now we got that, and I can also create some index for here for me. I'm gonna copy this variable. So you see here in IPython notebook, the new IPython notebook I just created, we can add new cell. So here is a cell here. So inside a cell we can write in something. So we can write in code, but we can also write in the content as well. So I'm gonna insert new cell by click on insert and choose insert cell below, and you got a shortcut for that, which is B. If you want to, here's a cell. If you want to insert above, you click on insert, choose insert cell above, or you can click A. So I got so many cells now. So if I want to delete, I just select them and I choose, I think self, no, it should be somewhere here, edit, delete cells, but you got a shortcut as well, which is double D. You're gonna delete the cells for you. And here I can change it to heading or markdown. So for example, I change to heading, and it has some instruction here that I can put one more hash to have the level 2 heading. So I'm gonna do that, double hash, and I got this is variable. So when you select that self, it's gonna show you the cell content is using markdown language, which is not Python code. But if you go to the second cell here, it is code. So I think we have a shortcut to change back and forward. So sometimes I don't remember the shortcut in Jupyter Notebook. I'm gonna go to health and keyboard shortcut, and I'm gonna put it somewhere, maybe but the funny thing is that this one is only inside this notebook. So I'm looking for something called control Y is undo. It's not control, it's something directly keyword. So Y is changing to a cell to code, and M is changing a cell to markdown, and R is changing the cell to raw. And you can put in 1 for the heading 1, 2 for heading 2, and 3 for heading 3. That's very useful. You can select cell above using K or cell below using KJ, and you can press Alt to run the cell and insert below. If you want to run the cell, just Control Enter, and if you want to run the cell and select below, you can choose Shift Enter. So if you choose to use with Jupyter Notebook, I recommend that you copy this and you put in a probably WordPad or whatever you use, window, and then you edit it to make it just the one that you use, and you put it aside. So I don't think WordPad is good in terms of that, so I'm gonna choose Microsoft Word. I'm just afraid that not all of you have Microsoft Word in your computer, so I'm gonna paste in there, so you see that. So I'm gonna put in a side here, for example, but I won't put in the other window of my computer, so you're not gonna see that. And then like that you can refer to when you need, and I can close this keyboard shortcut. So for example, I press 1, which is markdown 1, and page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. That's very convenient. I'm gonna press this is 2 and then enter, and then here I can type in code. So as the instruction here, any Python interpreter can be used as a calculator. So we can put in 3 plus 5 and multiply by 4 and multiply by 4, and we run it. So remember, we run it, we can choose Control Enter or Shift Enter or Alt Enter, so whatever we can choose that. So we got 23, or if you don't have the shortcut key, you just press run here, it's gonna run it. So here you see that you got 3 plus 5 multiplied by 4 is 23. So if you know all this stuff, you can skip this video for the next lesson. So in this video I'm gonna go very slowly, because I think that somebody watching this is gonna be kind of first time using Python. But for the next video I'm gonna go faster, so I just do whatever I think is convenient for me. I'm not gonna explain this again. So we got the output is 23, but actually if we do like that, we don't need Python. We just call calculator, and it's gonna do it for us. So 3 plus 5 multiplied by 4, you got that. So why we need Python? We can use Python because we can assign the value we got to a variable, and we can use that variable later. For example, here we can assign that one to a variable called a, and we run it, and now we can use that variable again, and we can use that variable and we can multiply by 2, and we got 46. So here in the instruction we got we can define a variable called weight, kilogram, which is 60, and we run that. So after we run, we can use that variable again. And talking about variable name here, we need to be careful when we choose variable name. The variable name should be not so short like the one above there. I choose a, but when you see a variable a in a longer program, you don't know what does it stand for. But if you type in variable called weight, kilogram, like that, it gives you an idea of what contains or what the variable is holding inside it. So if you type in like weight, you define variable called W10 like 50, and you call W10, it is working. But if you define a new variable called 10W is 50, it's gonna show you that you got invalid syntax. So that means in Python you can't have a variable name with a number start from it. And variable name in Python is also case sensitive. So if you type in W 10 is variable for 10 and W10 is variable for 20. You run it. So when you call W10, it's gonna return 10, but you call capital W10, it's gonna return 20. So it is case sensitive. So be careful when you use variable. Sometimes you refer to like W10 normally, but you put cap lock on and then you call W capital 10, capital W10, and then you got different result. And you put in your calculation and you got wrong result or something like that. So that is for variables. We go to the next part. So we can press B to create a new cell, and we want to make it as a heading. We choose press 2 to make it a heading 2, and we type in types of data, and we got here. So there are many data types in Python, and the 3 common ones are integer numbers, floating point numbers, and strings. So if we call the variable weight kilogram again, we got the value of it is 60, and 60 here is integer. So we can test the type of it, type of weight, and we print it out, which is integer. But again, if I have another weight here, like weight 2, and I define it 60 but comma 0, and I call that variable out, you got the one decimal point after the one value after the decimal point. And I'm gonna check that type, and it's gonna bring me the type of this variable, even it's the same as the one above. If I compare it together, I compare them together, they are equal to each other, but the type of the first variable is integer, and the type of the second variable here is float. And we can also define a variable type value as a string. So here we got weight kilogram text is weight in kilograms, and we call that variable out, and we call the type of it, and we got it as string. So sometimes you don't know what actually the variable type is, string or integer or float. You can use type function, which is a built-in function in Python. You can call it directly without loading any package or module, and it will return for you the type of it. Next is using variables in Python. So we can press 2 to make it heading 2, and we type in using variables in Python. We can choose to use print, and we put the variable inside the print, and we run it. The print function will print out the content of the variable outside screen for us. With the print function, we can also use with multiple variables. We can print, because we know that we got weight kilogram, and we got weight kilogram in text. So in order to print 2 variables at a time, we can put inside the bracket, and we separate them by a comma, and it's gonna work for us. So we got 60 weight in kilograms, like that. Yeah, because here I define this like this. I can redefine it again with the colon at the back, and here I can put the weight in text first, comma, and the weight kilogram later, and I run it, and you're gonna have this, which is similar to the instruction here in the lesson. So here we can also use like this. We can print out firstly the weight in text there, and we can put in 2.2 and multiply with the weight kilogram and print it out. So we got the result like that. So we can put in the calculation and then print out the calculation result. So when we do this, actually the value of weight kilogram is the same, it's not changed. And if we want to change the value of a variable, we just assign it to a new value. So here we got that, and we're gonna assign it to 6.65 kilogram. After we run that, and we gonna print this out again. So the above we got weight in kilogram is 60, but this one we got weight in kilogram is 65, just because we just changed the variable value here. So the instruction here, we can understand the variables as sticky notes. That's also an interesting concept to use. So let's say we get a new variable called weight LB, which is in pounds, and we assign it to be weight LB is equal to 2.2 multiplied by weight kilogram, and then we print this out. So we print the weight kilogram text out, which is this one, and we print the weight kilogram, and we also print out the weight kilogram in pounds. Something wrong there. So we cannot multiply sequence in non-int or type float. So here I choose 2.2 to multiply with weight kilogram text. It is definitely wrong. So I should put this in per kilogram. It's a mistake. So now I got weight in kilograms 65, which is this one, and it in pounds, which is this one, and then weight in pound, which is this one. So now we're gonna change, let's change the weight kilogram to 100, and then we're gonna print this out. So we're gonna print in out, so I'm gonna do that, so I'm gonna print it. Weight in kilogram now is this one, and weight in pounds is still this one. So I'm gonna change that. So now the weight in kilogram is 100, and weight in pounds is still 143. So I think that we're done for the content of this lesson, but we can check our understanding. So we go to the next part, type in that too, and we got check your understanding. So the question is what values do the variable mass and age have after each statement in the following program? Test your answer by executing the commands. So we got this program, very simple. We just copy the program and we just run it, and we got mass is actually 95 and age is 102. So it should be that, very simple. The next one is sorting out references. So here we have another example. What does the following program print out? So here we got the first and the second. So the first is this one, and the second is this one. So I'm gonna run that. So now we got to define that one as well. So the third is gonna define as second, and the fourth is gonna define as the first. So if we run this and we call the third, and we print out the third and the fourth. So the third is the second, and it should be Hopper, and the fourth is first, it should be Grace. So when we print it out, it should be Hopper, Grace. The order is gonna be reversed. So we print it out, and we got Hopper and Grace, and the solution is the same. So that is the end of this lesson, and we review the key point, which is basic data types in Python include integer, string, and floating point numbers. We use variable equal to value to assign a value to a variable in order to record it in memory. Variables are created on demand whenever a value is assigned to them. We can use print inside a function to print something out. And here's our reference when we need it. Actually, in this lesson, the reference is not much, but when you get into the more complicated reference, I think the key point is useful. But actually, I didn't show you that because we are using Jupyter Notebook. So actually, if I capture this figure, I copy it, actually in here I change to markdown and actually copy the figure inside. So I'm going to have the picture actually inside here, but we got a different way to insert the figure inside a notebook. If you want to know how to do that, you can go back to my YouTube channel and you go to the search and you put in import and display image. So you're gonna see a video about Jupyter Notebook import and display local images. So there are different ways to that. You can use code or you can use markdown to read and display an image inside a Jupyter Notebook. But I think the best way and the easiest way is just you got the image, for example this image, again you copy it into clipboard and you choose a cell, you change it to markdown and you paste it, and it's gonna have automatically create this kind of script for you, and you just enter and control enter. You got that. So I'm delete one and I got the key point. So I can put the key point from the beginning here, just markdown and paste that. From the beginning I got the key point, and at the end of the lesson I also get key points. And that's it for this section 01 Python fundamentals. I close this and I get back to this, and the next lesson, the next part, we're gonna look at part 2, analyzing patient data.